Hey, what's up guys? I'm Austin Hancock. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna talk about should we cash out and pay off a car or should we have debt? You know, I get this question from a multitude of people. Sometimes it's people that are in their 30s, sometimes it's people that are just buying their first vehicle. Should I use all my money and pay down a $10,000 car or should I go get a loan? So I'm gonna go through the pros and the cons, all right? So if you are starting out and you don't have any credit and you've never purchased a vehicle and the only way you think you can do it is by saving up 10 grand of cash, like I have behind me here, and paying down this car, I'm gonna say, hey, that's pretty smart because you're not gonna have a payment. But just remember this, you're gonna have maintenance, you're gonna have insurance, you're gonna have a potential accident, right? You're gonna have deductible if the windshield cracks, what's that look like? All of these things. That's kind of maintenance, that's kind of road hazard, right? Is it a good idea to go put all that money there? Well, if you are gonna go spend that money on dumb things, which a lot of young people do, then maybe it is a good place to park that. But what I wanna throw at you and I want you to think about is being a better steward of your money. And let me explain. So if you were to only put $2,000 down on the car, which we're gonna use debt over here. So we put 2 grand down as a down payment. This is my abbreviation for down payment. Boom, we only own 8K on the car. That's legit, okay? So we make payments on this, payments on the debt, right? But what we're also building, what I was fortunately taught by my parents is that we're building our credit. Okay, and I've told you guys, you don't need good credit to go buy real estate, but you know what? It is nice to have good credit to begin with. It's not a bad thing to have, it's just something that you don't have to get into real estate. But if you wanna get cars and you wanna really build yourself up and look good on paper to the banks, you gotta start getting debt, right? You gotta get a credit card. I don't suggest a credit card for everybody because not people are good at it, but you have to have some type of way for the bank to say, this person, we gave them $8,000, they paid us back in 2 years when they sold the car. They did not miss a payment. Their credit score is gonna go up. Hey, what's up guys? Austin Hancock here. I get a lot of messages asking for some help in some capacity, whether it's financial, fitness, mindset, something to make your life better, something to make it to where you can go from this point right here, where you are now, to the dream life that you've always wanted to be living. Shoot me a text or give me a call, 405-697-4072. The number's right here, 405-697-4072. Call or text the number and let's change your life. No credit score is just as bad credit. Right? You have no track record. Think of it as a resume, a track record. They have no track record whether you can make the payments or not. So I've seen people that make a lot of money. Maybe they're tattoo artists and they have cash. Maybe they're in a restaurant business where they take cash, a bar industry where they take cash, and they can't go get any loans because they never report any of the cash. They never want to report it because they don't want to pay taxes. It's not the right thing to do. And it's ignorant, in my opinion, because they don't understand real estate. They could put all that cash and they could deposit it into the bank. They could show it in that business. And then they can go and buy real estate and offset that income with depreciation from real estate. But that's here nor there. On this specific scenario, if you got debt on this car for 8K, you put 2K down, be good with your money. You're gonna make these payments. When you end up selling the car, which is what I did at the beginning, I would trade cars, I would trade up. The only thing that fluctuated was the payment. This is literally the only thing that has fluctuated on my cars since I started buying cars, was the payment. I went from my first car payment, it was like $300 a month. And then it went to, $500. And then I remember when I thought a $700 car payment was stupid expensive, was crazy. Now I have car payments that are $3,000, right? And depending on how much money you put down is gonna determine, well, one, the purchase price, but how much money you put down on the car is gonna determine that payment. So make sure you don't get a payment that's gonna over leverage you or hurt you, but you do want to start building that credit. So if you took the 10K, say you only had 10K, you only had the $10,000, and you go and buy a car, let me show you the most important thing that you need to learn right here. How much cash do you have left? Zero. You got freaking $0, right? You have no money left. Well, you're like, you know what, I work, I hustle. Let me explain. Is this a good thing that you don't have to make a payment if you only had 10K? Yeah, that's great. You still got, like I said, you still got taxes because you're gonna have to pay the tag. You're gonna have insurance. You're gonna have maintenance. And when you have all these other things, they're still gonna cost you. And if you have this mindset says to me immediately, I'm scared that I can't afford this vehicle because I don't have enough faith in myself that I can go make more money. That's what this mindset says. This mindset says, I wanna learn about debt. I wanna understand how to make a payment like a big boy. I wanna understand how to leverage the bank's money so that I can make connections and grow my money. I wanna understand how to get a more expensive vehicle in the future. And that's exactly what I did. When I understood debt on cars is when I started opening my mind to debt on real estate. And I said, well, if the bank's gonna give me $50,000 for a car, why wouldn't they give me $100,000 for a house? If the bank's gonna give me $50,000 for a car, why couldn't I get a couple $100,000 for a couple more houses? And then the best thing about real estate is that somebody else is living in it when I rent it out and they're paying it. Or I sell it and I make a profit. So a lot of my knowledge from real estate comes from the basics of cars. That's just because I'm a car person. I loved cars. And so I wanted to get the new car every other year, every 2 years. And when I started my business, my CPA would give me the advice of, hey, buy another truck for your construction company so that you can write it off and have a tax deduction. So I would say, yay, he says that I can buy another truck. I knew nothing about why and understanding, right? So let's go back to the very beginning, guys. If you're youngsters watching this, listen up. You gotta have a job. If you don't have a job, if you wanna go the Dave Ramsey route, if you don't have any kind of money coming in and you wanna pay the car off, I'm not against it, okay? But what I am against is I am against the poor scarcity mindset that may come along with that. That is gonna make you contract. That is gonna make you say, I can only afford this. Now, here's the deal. If you're out killing it and you're making money and cars aren't your jam and you're just like, I don't give a damn what I drive, right? And there's a lot of very wealthy people that just do not care about cars. They're all nerds in my opinion, but they do not care about cars. And so it's not important to them. The experience of a vehicle does nothing for them emotionally, right? Just like the experience of horses do nothing for me emotionally. But some people love having a ranch and petting horses and spending all this money on an animal, you know? There's a lot of things that I don't find fun, I don't find beneficial to me in my life. So there's no hard line with it. All I'm trying to do is show you the pros and cons of this, especially for you newbies out there that are getting into it. And because this would murder me. I would hate my life more here than I would here. Because if I had to make a car payment, let's just say the car payment was $400 a month, just for round numbers, knowing me and who I am and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my butt off to make double that, triple that. Because now I have to pay for a house and I have to pay for, or at least a room if I'm renting one. I have to pay for my car payment. And so what it starts to do to young people, it makes them responsible. This says, I'm not really responsible because I'm too afraid that I'm gonna spend this money like a dumbass. And so I have to give all my money to my car because I'm afraid that I won't be able to keep it because I buy dumb shit. This could essentially say the same thing too, right? The downfall of this one is it could be like, oh man, I'm only gonna put $2,000 down and I'm gonna spend that other $8K in my bank account on this vacation and it's gone. On my girl's new bag, on my girl's new shoes, on booze. Trust me, we've all made mistakes, boys. You gotta think through it. What this one will do, in my opinion, is it'll grow your financial responsibility. It'll grow your credit, right? Which is huge. It'll grow your financial responsibility, which is what I said a second ago. Grow your credit. For the right person, it will grow you. It'll grow who you are and it'll open your mind, right? Which is kind of goes along with that. It'll open your mind. Because what I realized was, dude, in order to have a new car, in order to have a $1,400 a month payment and make this 80 and make this 100, right? What do I gotta do? I gotta make more money. I wanna do that. And it's a good mindset to have because that's the way that you escape the rat races. You figure out how to make more money. Now, it doesn't lead to happiness, as we all know, so hit the comments. I know you may say that. But the reality is, it will give you more experiences, right? It will make you have a lot more fun. And you'll be able to enjoy more things, enjoy more trips, enjoy more cars. But this can continue to where you put your back against the wall and you hear people say, well, they're just keeping up with the Joneses. You know, they're cash poor. Let me explain why. Let me be very, very clear. That's because you are on a fixed income. If you are on a fixed income and you are buying cars that are out of reach or barely making the payments, you need to find something else. You know what to do? Click the link below. I'll show you exactly how to make money in real estate. Because you can't set a cap on your income while raising the floor on your debt of your personal life and maxing yourself out to the volume. You lose your job, you're going bankrupt. Your boss takes a cut, you take a pay cut, something happens, you go bankrupt. Don't live to the threshold of it, right? There's a happy medium. You can buy a sick car. You can buy a cool whip. That's what I would do. I would buy things that like, hey man, this is within what I can afford, and I would customize it. I would change it. I would make sure it had a lower miles on it. I still do that today. I think it would be absolutely ridiculous for me to go buy a brand new Rolls Royce off the lot, drive it off, and it's worth $50, $60, $100,000 less in 2 weeks. Same with the Lambo, unless you buy a specific type, right? But most people aren't buying that high of end of car. They're buying a freaking platinum F-150, or they're buying a platinum freaking Expedition, or they're buying some Jeep Cherokee, or they're buying like a Wrangler. You know, all of those vehicles, depending on how long you have them, what the economic cycle of them is, they either they're gonna lose you money, right? You're gonna spend the money. But You're also gonna be able to write that off if you own a business. Now, if you're pushing it to the max and you're buying the Escalade and you have a fixed income, that's gonna be tough. You better have a damn good fixed income that pays for those vehicles. So going back, guys, let's finish on this. If you guys are cash-based and you wanna buy a car, you're young and you're like, that's what I gotta do because what I'm gonna do is spend the 10K and then I'm gonna go hustle. I don't give a damn about what car I drive. I'm gonna go hustle and make my 10K back in less than a month. Dude, that's cool. I love that it motivated you to go do that, okay? Just know it's different. I think you could have leveraged the money. You could have put 2K down, could have kept some cushion. If you're this disciplined to do that, why not be this disciplined right here? Take the 8K, put it aside into a savings for a minute, go make more that way. Set it and forget it, because 8K ain't shit. Stuff's gonna happen. Dude, I could probably spend over 8K in tires in some of my cars. So 8K, you have it as a safety net. You have that and you still have the vehicle, and now you have that payment. You're like, well, the payment, Austin, well, the payment. We'll use that same mentality that I said a minute ago. Over here, if that's your mentality, use that for this. I'm gonna make the payment, I'm gonna make it double. I'm gonna triple my MRR, my monthly reoccurring revenue. I'm going to make sure that I get paid X amount a month that covers my payment right out of the gates on the first because I own 4 rental properties. I lease my bedrooms out of the house that I bought because I bought my car with credit and now I have good credit and the bank loaned me money for my house and now I have roommates. You see how it compounds. That's literally exactly what I did. You guys can do the same thing. Hey, leave a comment below if you liked what kind of game I spit today. And if you guys got any questions, hit the link at the very bottom in the description and I'd be happy to help you guys out. I walk people through this kind of stuff all the time. We have mindset training, we have real estate training, we have fitness training. As you can tell, I love that, but you guys got to join the community. I'd love to see you there. Thanks.